People are really talking about actions and how we're already moving to attack climate change and bring about a reduction of emissions. So we're not waiting to make sure there's an agreement next year. Companies and governments are making commitments today on what they're going to be doing immediately. So we're seeing cities change their transportation and lighting plans. We're seeing companies talk about how they're not going to purchase products that are harmful to the environment. We're seeing governments say we're going to be doing things that will make a difference long term. It's not a choice between the planet and the economy. A better environment is also a better economy. So these are commitments that companies, by and large, are making in their own interest.
Now the consumers themselves had a march, the climate march.
Yes.
Did that in any way come up in what was going on today?
It's been talked about all day. 400,000 people. They're being watched here today. They know that, and they also know that there's a powerful movement out there that will go with them and is going to be watching what happens next. So we have some accountability built in this time. I think that's really powerful. We're so glad people marched. It was everybody from companies to students to world leaders, moms, you name it. This is a universal issue.
I have a kind of nearly 40 year of history on these issues. And I have never given up, although there have been bad times, very little improvement on things in many years of this. However, things are moving in the right direction. And here you now see that more businesses are more serious than before in requiring governments to make important decisions that can help them do the right thing for the future. So, for instance, requesting a carbon price so that they know what kinds of investments in the future will be livable and possible, and that they want to move forward with new technologies, low carbon technologies, but they don't have sufficient support from governments yet. But the fact that they are here requesting more governments to want to act is very important. 7 million deaths a year are due to indoor and outdoor air pollution. And obviously, if we have climate action, we can reduce those numbers and improve the health of people.
This whole summit that the Secretary General has called for is not part of the official negotiating process of the climate agreement. However, it is very, very helpful because it is blowing a lot of wind in the sails of the climate agreement. And so I am here to witness all of these fantastic announcements that are coming forward from all different sectors saying one thing: yes, we can address climate change.
We've spoken about government, we've spoken about the private sector. Now the people. How are the people getting involved?
Well, that was so exciting, right? Because this whole week started with the people. Started with 400,000 people in the streets in New York City, in addition to everyone who was out on the streets in so many other countries and cities around the world. So it was incredibly exciting. And for me personally, it was very moving because I was there with my 2 daughters and a niece who came up from Costa Rica overnight, especially to join me at the march. So it was very, very meaningful to be there with 3 young women, because honestly, it is about the next generation. So to see them there, really giving a very, very clear message that this is it. We have to stand up to the responsibility of our generation. It was beautiful.
Beyond the march, a lot of people are saying it was just once off. People will forget. What is the next step?
Well, unfortunately, people will not be able to forget. Honestly, I wish they could. But they will not be able to forget because we will be hit with more and more negative impacts of climate change. We will see more droughts. We will see more floods. We will see more higher cyclones. We will see the sea level rising. We will see so many things over the next few months and over the next 15 months. So there is no way that we're going to forget about this.
There is a big, debate out there that in order to take action on climate, it would be incredibly costly. And for countries that are trying to tackle poverty, for countries that are trying to improve livelihoods, that it would be inconsistent to be able to do that and at the same time tackle climate. And I think the work that we have done over the 30 years that we have been around has demonstrated that actually that is a false choice. One does not need to choose between promoting development, tackling poverty on one hand, or really taking aggressive climate action on the other. And I think what we've seen today at the summit is a wide range of examples that demonstrate how the two actually go hand in hand. The biggest challenge at the moment we have is one about bold leadership, of real political will. I think the scientific argument has been made about what will happen if we don't tackle climate and the impacts it will have all around the world. I think the economic argument has been made that it is not a trade-off between growth and climate change, but actually the two go hand in hand. I think the security argument has been made, whether it's energy security, whether it's human security, that in a world of 3, 4, 5 degrees global warming, the impacts on security are profound.
Women are big stakeholders in climate change solutions. It's one of the untold stories of climate change. And what we know is that women are the most negatively impacted by climate change and environmental degradation. And there's so many studies that demonstrate that, because women are collecting the food and the water for their families. Some of them don't have transportation, especially in developing countries, and some cultural norms. It ends up when disasters hit, women are the most impacted. But the other part that's so exciting is that they're key to solutions. So we're very excited about how can we lift up women's solutions and really demonstrate both at a grassroots level the solutions women have, both from the kind of farming that they're doing. As an example, 60 to 80% of all household food production in developing countries is done by women. So when we're talking about food security and food sovereignty, it's the women.
And it's just amazing to see the energy of everyone, the positivity, because I think around this issue there's been a lot of, everyone knows about the catastrophes that are coming from and that exist from climate issues, and it's just wonderful to see that people are actually doing things about it.
We need to take action now. The world is ready. Your constituents want you to take action. You will be a leader if you do. Thank you very much.
I believe whether you are old or young, but not least if you are young and have a long future ahead of you, you should think about what you yourself are concerned about, what you could engage in with others, how you can commit, how you can be part of groups of people working together for improvement, for a better future.